아무래도 이정훈 선수가 가장 상대하기 힘들 것 같은데 정훈아 너 조심해라. 형이 잡으러 나간다.
스타테일 퀀틱 정말 조심해야 할 거예요. 저희 팀의 3펀치가 장현우, 변현우, 이정훈인데 그쪽에 최지성, 박현우, 이현표 너무 약하잖아요. 저희에 비해서 많이 준비하셔야 할 겁니다.
프라임 팀한테 져서 이렇게 힘든 길을 거쳐서 올라왔기 때문에 이길 거고 개인적으로 장현 선수한테 하고 싶어요.
안녕하세요, 최현우입니다. 현우 형, 나 현우인데 같은 현우래도 내가 좀 더 나아.
이번 라스베가스에서는 제가 이겨드릴게요.
저희가 굉장히 유리한 상황에서 시작하다가 방심을 하다 역전을 당했지만 그런 운 좋은 일을 두 번은 일어나지 않을 겁니다.
저희랑 8강에서 스타테일 콘틱이랑 했었는데 잘하는 팀이긴 하지만 저희한테는 안 되는 것 같아요.
To every fans out there, I just want to say check us out in Las Vegas. I think everyone from StarTale is going, so it will be really fun to be there, and I hope to meet you all. StarTale fighting.
프라임 화이팅!
스타테일 화이팅!
화이팅!
라스베가스 기다리세요. 스타테일이 갑니다.
스타테일 넌 내 밥이야.
스타테일이 간다. 라스베가스 기다려.
Welcome back to the GSTL Finals in Las Vegas. I am Wolf and with me is Caldor. And we just had our StarTale player chosen. It is StarTale parting. We'll see if we can take out Maru.
And this is going to be really, really difficult. Maru playing very strong so far, and this is already a little bit of an upset for the StarTale team. The last time those two teams faced each other, StarTale was able to take the first 3 wins thanks to Curious, but in the end, they lost nonetheless, and this time they are already 1 point behind. We have Maru against Parting, the next game, and well, Maru once again looking pretty calm here.
He looks extremely calm. The map of choice for Parting is a great map for Protoss versus Terran. It is going to be calm before the storm. Let's get into the game right now without wasting any more time. This is the GSTL Finals in Las Vegas with Caldor and Wolf.
Starting to the bottom left of the map, in the red color, we have our Protoss player. It is the second player for the StarTale team, Parting, definitely a specialist when it comes down to beating Terrans. Will he be able to defeat the opening player for the Prime team? Will he be able to defeat the player starting at the bottom right of the map in the blue color? It is Prince.
Oh man, Maru has his work cut out for him. Not only is this going to be a tough match against someone who's so good at PvT, but it's on Calm Before the Storm, a map where you can basically get away with any build. We've seen a lot of interesting all-in strategies on this map by Terran to try to win, to try to beat the Nexus first, sometimes double expands. Pretty tough. We've even seen Neil Steel Frame, Bunker Contains, we've seen all sorts of creative play, and if anyone can come up with a creative strategy, a creative cheese on this map, I think it might be Maru, man.
Yeah, definitely. He has a lot of experience with this, but we've seen him with so many macro games. And I certainly think that he can also win a macro game on this map. He's just such an amazing player. And at the same time, we've seen also a lot of Protoss players just trying to take advantage of the fact that usually you see a very early expand by any race on this map. And it's interesting to note that right now we have Maru immediately taking a gas, not even trying to go for a command center first or for 1 barracks into expand.
Yep, he's actually going to be putting on some pressure early. I really like this choice because in most cases on this map, Protoss will go Nexus first, so if you want to take your gas, you can do a Banshee build, try to go Cloak perhaps to catch him off guard without a Robo. You can go for one of those Marine Tank Banshee type builds. But interestingly enough, we have our StarTale player Parting taking gas right now. Now he hasn't mined from it just yet, but it's almost as if he expects some sort of early proxy barracks or something from his opponent, so he wants to get that gateway out before the Nexus.
usually start with a very early expansion on this map, because you just have this one base basically into the back of your own main base. You only have to defend one ramp and the front in order to secure two bases. That's exactly what Parting does right now, throwing down the Nexus. But for his opponent, we still don't see a command center. He's getting gas, and we will probably see him with a factory fairly soon, as he hits the 100.
Actually, didn't just notice. Yeah, he just started that factory, and the question is, what will he do with this factory? He's taking a second gas right now. It looks like it's going to be Cloak Banshees. With a double gas opening like this, Cloak Banshees can be quite effective. And fortunately for Maru, they're in pretty close positions by air, so he can shoot the Banshees across very quickly. And with the type of build that we've seen from Parting, it's not a very fast Nexus, a pretty fast Nexus. It's all going to come down to when he gets that Observer out, what he does with it. If he sends it right across the map and doesn't make the second Observer, he'll still lose a lot of probes.
And the thing with Maru is that his unit control is just exceptional. We've seen this in the last game, and we've seen it in the past. So if he gets some of the Banshees into his opponent's main base in there, then he will be able to do a lot of damage, and he's able to repel the scout here.
Yep, and that means that no information will be given to Parting here. Now, the starport has begun, as well as the tech lab. We're going to see cloaking as soon as he switches it over. The Nexus is finishing up here for Parting right now, who has taken his second gas, but it's going to be a while before he has that robo. And the question is, will he make a robo? Will he try to make sentries? He has no idea what his opponent is up to, so it's going to be a tough choice as to what units to make.
I really like that we have a bunker at the front for Maru. He tries to be safe here and not die to any incoming gateway attack. The starport is nearly done now, where we have the gateway technology being researched for Parting. And I expect that we are going to see the book very soon, certainly as the gas do so.
Yeah, absolutely. The robo is on the way for Parting, playing things really smartly and safely here. Now that the tech lab has been switched, we're going to see Cloak immediately. There it is, but you know, with the robo already on the way, this isn't going to be as effective as Maru wants, and if he doesn't do a ton of damage with his Cloak Banshee, he's going to put himself so far behind. He's going to have to transition into some sort of Marine Tank Banshee type play, maybe some drop play, but he's not going to be able to expand very easily. There's the command center going down now. The question is, does Parting take a fast third here?
At this point, well, if he takes a fast third right now, I certainly think that he's going to take one fairly soon, but just as long as the Banshee is in the play, it'll probably delay quite a bit. At this point, what we see is that we have the expansion for Maru, who has an expo a lot later than his opponent though, and therefore his economy won't be as good. In case he's doing a lot of damage with the Banshee, that will be negated, but I actually think that with the robotics out, we will see a lot of observers, not only one for Parting. That is his style, so I don't think that there's a chance that Maru will catch some of the units in the main base without observing.
I think you're exactly right. Right now the Banshee is on the way over. We see a Warp Prism coming out here, which is likely going to be for a potential sentry drop, but the Observer will catch this Banshee and will likely turn around immediately. There it is. Even the Banshee sees it. Will he cancel Cloak? That's the question. And back at home, it looks like he's not going to cancel. He's going to let it finish. He really wants to make use of that Cloak. They'll force a second Observer at the very least, that's for sure.
And he's getting another command center right now.
There's Dustin Browder, one of my favorite people.
We have now another command center building for Maru, and here comes the Banshee into the main base, trying to do some damage here, taking down two of the probes, immediately warping in some stalkers.
Yep, he does have to chase the Banshee. The Banshee does get chased away here. Right now, the supply is 60 to 40 in Parting's favor. The command center is up for Maru, but he doesn't have the SCV count that his opponent has. He has a third command center finishing up, and oh, I love this. He's taking a hidden command center at the top. This Banshee harassment is just being thwarted. There's observers everywhere. He does take out the sentry, though. That's pretty useful, but I absolutely love the command center hitting on top of the map.
Those ninja expansions can be really helpful, and the one thing is that you can't just call down a ton of mules to the expansion and then try to mine it out as fast as possible, just because at some point your opponent will scout it, and then you are probably going to lose it. So if you just focus your mules down on the hidden expansion, then you will definitely make it worth it. And at the same time, we now have a little bit of scouting going on once again for Parting, who wants to know if there's a third base. Might even just place down a pylon here. And again, the Raven.
Yeah, there's the Raven. Maru really liking his Ravens today as the surplus gas. I don't blame him for doing it. Now this Observer is going to come here. He wants to scout what's up next. Do you have a third command center? Are you producing siege tanks? What is your transition here? The Observer has been spotted. He's going to take it out with the Raven now, but not before the Observer sees the tech lab on the factory. Very important for him to note. So now he knows that his opponent is going to be producing siege tanks with this in some way, shape, or form. So he is producing Colossi now, but I don't blame him if he adds some Memorials into the mix.
We have the second Forge as well, +1 attack upgrade, extended therm lance for the Colossus. he will definitely try to transition, or not only to transition, but to add the Storm tech later on as well. That's definitely what he's known for, and his Storms are actually magnificent. He has a really great control with his High Templars. And at the same time, the expansion at the top left is now finished for Morrow, and he started calling down some of the mules, while those two Banshees are still trying to just annoy Parting a tiny little bit, kill off a probe every now and then, and just make sure that the Protoss player is staying in his main base. The pylon now, the forward pylon being built, and allowing Parting just to be a bit aggressive and maybe get some units into play as soon as there's a third base sneaking into the mineral line.
Yeah, I'm really liking what, I'm loving what these Banshees are doing right now. He actually cleaned up the probe off the watchtower. He's forced his opponent to stay in his main base, like you said. And he's getting so much scouting information from these, and the key is he hasn't lost them. They're still alive, they're still present. They're always going to be a danger. In fact, if he loses his observers in the main fight, the Banshees can focus down Colossi, they can do whatever they want with no detection on the field.
And just look at how many bases Morrow has right now. He has 4 bases already against 2 mining. Parting just started his third, so at this point it's really looking like Morrow is going to take a huge lead in economy, and the main question is if Parting is going to hit a timing where he can exploit the fact that his opponent won't have as many units as he does, or what exactly he's planning to do.
Yeah, that is a very good point. Right now the supply 117 to 84 with StarTale player in the lead here, and I feel like at this point, with the third base coming up for a Protoss player, things are going to even out a little bit, but he needs to scout that additional base at the top. If he doesn't see that, I mean, Morrow is not only mining minerals from that, but he's got a geyser set up there as well.
We have now additional gateways being produced for Parting. He's added a couple of Colossi as well, and at this point he is ahead. Parting is ahead in supply, but the problem is he still does not know about the expansion to the top left, and the longer he waits, the better for Morrow.
Absolutely correct. I mean, especially now that he's added even a second gas up there. That's so much hidden resources that he's getting. Right now, Charge is almost done. The Templar Archives has been started. He's getting +2. Morrow, on the other hand, is getting 2/2 upgrades right now, so his upgrades are spinning pretty well. And I have to admit, for how little damage he did with his Cloak Banshees, he's been able to transition really well with the hidden expansion and his patience here and his constant aggression with those Banshees.
Yes, indeed. We have a second starport now building, and he's once again moving in with the Banshees. One-shotting all these probes here. He's doing a ton of damage. He killed 11 in total already in this game. Very nice job, despite the fact that we have observers in position around the bases of Parting. So really nice job here by Morrow, and this cloak definitely paid off that he did not cancel in the early stages when he realized that there was already a robotics.
Oh, he gets feedback though.
Wow.
Look at that, Morrow still saves the Banshees. Wow. Now, something to note, with these 4 command centers producing SCVs, the worker count is now 67 for Morrow to 60 for Parting. Morrow pulling further and further ahead. He's now taken a supply lead, 140 to 133 supply right now, and that hidden expansion is really, really bad for Parting.
Yeah, he has no idea. He still has no clue. And now we have the Storm tech. But this army is going to be very scary nonetheless. So Morrow needs to pay attention. And even if he has good economy, he can't lose in the next fight. Because the only thing that Parting is doing right now, he's just waiting until he has the best unit composition that he can think of. Until he has Storm, until he has Colossi, until he has all these upgrades that he needs. And then he will just try to attack and make good use of his area for effect damage and of his nice Storms. I'm definitely sure that we will see some really good unit control from him as soon as he starts the next engagement.
I completely agree. You know, right now, Parting is destroying these rocks. It looks like he's preparing to take a 4th base here. Now, when he takes that 4th base, he'll be even on bases, but he's so behind in resources regardless. He needs to win a fight soon. He needs to kill some SCVs, he needs to kill a command center, or at the very least trade efficiently with his army. Because Morrow's upgrades, he's now researching 3/3, basically in time with Parting here. And Storm is a scary upgrade he's going to have to deal with, but he's just got this awesome army. He's got a good amount of Vikings. He even has siege tanks in the mix from earlier. He's got a very strong and scary army, and if he starts adding his production as he's known to do, he's going to have an army that he can replace much faster than Parting because he has a better economy.
We're with +3 attack upgrades also, and of course the Mervis reactor. Still the 4th base has not been scouted, and Parting takes a 4th on his own. But at this point we have both of them on 180 supply, and now it's time for Parting to move out here and do some damage. 6 ghosts are being built at the same time.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of ghosts out here. Those are going to be so useful. Remember, there are 4 siege tanks in the mix. It's going to be very difficult for Parting to engage into this defensive position that Maru is set up here. He only has 8 Vikings out on the field compared to just 2 Colossi, but if he focuses his Vikings correctly, if he engages smartly, as he's known to do, he should be able to kill those Colossi. It also needs to come down to the micro. The Vikings do have +1 right now with +2 on the way, and these Banshees are still alive. It looks like he's finally going to take them out.
They finally died. I'm actually a little bit sorry for them. Those 2 Banshees are pretty cool.
Yeah, man, they did a lot. I think between them there was about 30 kills. That base at the top has still not been scouted. He's basically only mining gas from that location, but still, that's so important. Look at the resources bank up here for our Terran player, Maru. He's going to be able to rebuild armies so quickly. And storms going off here.
This is exactly what we talked about. The storms of Parting. He is just a master when it comes down to his High Templar control.
He really is indeed. He just does not hesitate to storm. He never waits. He just drops those storms. Parting looking really good here because his opponent's units are so weak, and if he can get himself into position behind Maru's army, he should be able to fight pretty well. Look at this, more Templar just alone here, getting great storms, even a feedback.
Very, very well done. And now Parting is just moving past the army of his opponent, trying to get into a position. This is looking like we're going to see a base trade here.
We very well may. There's a lot of Templar back at home. He's actually using them defensively here, just setting them up one by one. Parting is rolling into Maru's base. You're exactly right. We're going to have a base trade.
And here comes Maru now running right into the storm of Parting. Oh my god, a second one hits immediately. He snipes the High Templars though. We have the Medivacs doing their job, trying to heal the Bio army, while the 3rd base for Maru is gone right now, transferring some of the SCVs out of the main base. And at the same time, in Parting's main, we have the Terran army just going wild and taking everything apart.
This is such a close game to call right now. Right now the supply is 179 to 143 in Parting's favor. That hidden base is where he is rebuilding his production facilities. Up at the top left, he's making 9 barracks right now. He's trying his best to dodge these storms. The storms alone will not be enough to kill this army with the Medivacs here though, so he has no answer for this. There are those barracks I was talking about, man, and he's got so much money to spend on them.
And at the same time now, he's taking everything apart in the main base. We still have a lot of zealots in the back, but it's not enough. It's not going to be enough. Maybe another storm with the High Templar that he walked in. Is it? Not yet. No, that's the snipe. The snipe saves them. We have the assault mode for the Vikings. And Parting is just trying to retreat here, trying to defend his bases. But this is not going to be easy, especially with all those new production structures that we have to the top left.
Yep, they're all finishing up right now, and the siege tanks are sieged up at the bottom. They're actually a little bit exposed here. They're going to go down very quickly, and let's see how Maru positions himself. He's now going to find himself trapped inside of Parting's main base, but he's going to have a better concave at the top. Here we go, Stalker's blinking in. The Vikings going for the Colossi.
A beautiful storm, very, very well done, and Maru drops down in supply to 51, needs to retreat with his Vikings. It looks like Parting pulled it off. He still has 2 mining bases, and he's getting a Dark Shrine now as well. This is looking horrible for Maru now.
Yeah, it's looking really terrible. The army supply 100 for Parting to 11 of Maru, and that Dark Shrine is always the best kind of structure to have in a base trade situation when your opponent's detection is limited. Look at all of that production. It's not going to be enough if Parting finds us, but even though Parting is building bases literally right outside of this location, he has no idea those production facilities are there.
He still doesn't know, even though this base was built in the early stages of the game. But he is expanding again. He's building the Nexus now at the bottom at the 3rd base of Maru. And Maru is even researching the personal cloaking now for his ghosts.
Yeah, this is the reason why cloaking is so useful in the later stages of the games. If you can eliminate all ravens and all observers, then you can just kill your opponent's structures that way. But there are 4 observers out right now for Parting, and he just still has that incredible army supply lead. He's going to take out one of the last orbitals here, cleaning up these supply depots in Maru's main. However, he still does not have any idea about the base at the top that he has not scouted.
But he still has a lot of mining going for him, so Parting looking really good here right now, and it's going to be so difficult for Maru to come back into this game. A storm kills more probes than actually, well, it doesn't do any little bit of damage to the Banshee, but finally dies to the Archon.
And all of the production has been killed from the main base of Maru right now, but his production is really, really going strong at the top left. And as far as production goes, he's making Marauders, Marines right now. He's making another command center. He's not even out of money at this point, but as soon as Parting finds this, he should be able to kill it.
And Parting has to be wondering, finally, there's the DT, and immediately in a scan, but the Dark Shrine is already gone, and Parting is like, what the hell is happening here?
Yeah, he's going to be in trouble if he doesn't deal with this soon, but he still has a significant lead with 3 times the army supply of his opponent, 128 to 48 supply right now in army. And I think that Maru is now probably actually just hoping for a miracle as he makes a bunker at the top of his ramp. He's making a turret as well. Here comes a Zealot just to see the army size, and I think at this point, Parting is going to know, I can take this.
Yeah, definitely, and he has the number of Zealots alone, but he is attacking into a choke point here, and this is the huge problem, trying to blink in as well, and streaming it with all these Zealots charging in for the win, and trying to take down Maru, and there's the GG!
And Maru Prime goes down in game number 2. We're all tied up 1-1.
Incredible play from Parting. Even in that base trade scenario, he knew just what to do. And I have to say, Maru did a great job with those 2 banshees. He never lost until the very end of that game. He kept them alive. He kept scouting his opponent. He hit that base, hiding that base was the smartest decision he ever made. And it wasn't scouted until the end of the game. That was something that really paid off for him.
Yeah, and once again for Parting, what really worked was just his storms. His storms were once again so amazing, his high temper control. And Maru, he ran right into these storms every single time. He lost so many units, especially the Marines, suffered quite a bit. MKP doesn't approve, his poor Marines had to lose here.
Yeah, there's Marine King. Will he be the player of choice for Prime? Well, I guess we're about to find out. Who knows? Marine King showing some of the best TVP in the world. Can he beat Parting? But the question is, do you want to send Marine King out this early? Let's find out who it's going to be.
And the next player for Prime, a leading Zerg who knows no fear, it's Boom Boom Prime!
Oh yeah!
Oh man, Boom Boom, a really cool guy, a great player. I actually got to hang out with this guy recently. I ate dinner with him, he's super nice. And I cannot wait to see what strategy he's got planned against Parting here, going for a ZVP. And guys, his map of choice is one of my favorites. It is Crossfire, 2nd edition. We'll see how he does on this map against the Zerg. It's going to be pretty tough. We've had 2 very tough map choices, and so far, the favored race for the map has won.
This is going to be an amazing game. Boom Boom is such a great player, and he's now up against Parting on the Zerg versus Protoss. New matchup for the day, and Crossfire will be a good map for a Zerg player here.
You can see Boom Boom is actually given so much to his team in the team. Look at his average wins, it's over 1.44. You can see if he comes out second, he's won more than half of the time. So who knows, maybe the odds are in his favor. He's actually won so much of the games he's come out. Having over 1 as your average win is so difficult to do with how many matches you play in the team league. Boom Boom definitely one of the core players of Prime.
Yeah, definitely, and on Crossfire, it's a pretty cool map, especially, for example, for Mutalisk play, you can still use very nice Mutalisk control on this map, because there are so many long high grounds that you can try to abuse, where Mutalisk with their mobility are so important and so strong. But it's kind of difficult for the Zerg player to take a 3rd base, sometimes, depends on how the early stage develops. Yeah, just taking the 1st base for the Protoss is usually much more of a problem, so we could also see some kind of rush strategy by the Prime player here.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's so risky to take a fast Nexus. How do you do it? Do you do a Sentry expand? Do you do a Forge fast expand? Both of them are fairly risky. Boom Boom, though, is not the type of guy to all in. Let's find out what type of strategy he's going to do here on Crossfire at the GSTL Finals here in Las Vegas with Wolf and Caldor.